Hello, this is Yai from Eberhart Studio. Um, I just have a pretty quick video, or actually, it's not gonna be a quick video. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just kind of want to give you guys an update on what I'm doing with One Book July. First off, so I started a Stalogy B6. I don't know why I decided to do that, because I've never really used up like a thick book like this. But here we are. So I had this in a D-ringed, the Superior Labor personal size planner before, but I just received this cover from Sojourner, from actually Buy Sell Trade group on Facebook, and this is in brand new condition. I can't believe my luck. It's the caribou leather with speck brown pocket, and it's the designer pocket, so it has the raw edge. Let me just flip through and show you my setup real quick. Basically, I have in this pocket, I have this little folder from Midori that has a bunch of like just labels and stickers and whatever's in here. It actually has like 5 different tiers, so it's pretty easy to kind of flip through it. And then some more stickers from the Coffee Monsters Co. And I just kind of tuck it in. Oh, I forgot. I have the little kind of tabs, sticky note tabs from the Coffee Monsters Co. from their anniversary sale, and I love it. And as for the notebook itself, this is a vinyl in kind of like a taupe color that I just made it myself. This card is from the June sub box from Cloth and Paper. Inside I printed out these textures in kind of more like a neutral color scheme on sticker paper and stuck them here. I know a lot of people use washi tapes, but it's way too much for me. So, and this is just a lot easier to look at. And this little kind of journaling card is also from the June sub box from Cloth and Paper. I actually quite like these little cards. And then basically my setup is very basic. Basically, it's very basic right now. There's not much happening, really. I just have like a weekly view. I know a lot of people do like a day a page or something. I just can't. I don't write big, so there's no point for me to take like a whole page for a day. And these monthlies are from Any Plans. I just printed them out and I stuck them in here. And the tabs I'm using up top are from the Coffee Monsters Co. So, oh yeah, and then in the back, I have a little dashboard I made myself, and this is a glue-on pen loop from Chic Sparrow that I just glued on, and I basically just tuck it in here, which is not a problem because usually when you're holding the notebook, it just kind of goes in and out like that. In the back pocket, I have some page flags and a gift card to kind of break apart washi tapes, and a stencil from Hobonichi, and that's it for my One Book July. Okay. Now, the main reason I wanted to make this video is that I wanted to show you or compare these two pen rolls. I've had the Superior Labor one for a while. You can see that it's gotten some patina, and I very recently acquired the mini Sendak from Peganol. And to my surprise, so I have known of this one for a really long time, but I never thought I wanted it because the Superior Labor one, it's all leather. I really like this one, so whatever. But what I realized is that I actually use them for very, very different purposes. And, even though they look really similar, they're both pen rolls, kind of like roughly the same size when they're closed, they're actually really, really different. So like the Superior Labor one has an actual buckle, and it has like this belt kind of closure design, and then when you open it, this is about how much you can fit in it without kind of bulking it up too much. I usually use this to carry my fountain pens or other pens that I'm using. But what I found this can't do for me is to fit my watercolor set. I've started to do some more watercoloring just recently, and it just felt weird trying to use it. Like, it's not that I can't fit my watercolors, it just doesn't fit right. So I tried, or I looked into the mini Sendak, and I thought that it would work. But just a quick kind of like materials comparison. The Superior Labor made this pen roll. This leather is a tumbled vegetable tan leather from Japan. So it's actually quite hard to get this leather outside of Japan. I tried to talk to some of the distributors for this tannery, and no luck for me. So I absolutely adore this leather. It's a very, very good quality leather, but it's also really thin, which works really well. And the strap here, I actually am not certain what leather it is. Just know that the strap is a different leather from the body, even though the color matched pretty well. Now, for the mini Sendak, its body is entirely waxed canvas, and the strap is a relatively thick vegetable tan leather. The strap is actually a lot wider than Superior Labor 1 too, and this is a vegetable tanned leather from a tannery in Pennsylvania. It's made in the US. It's very, very, very good quality leather, and when you open it, it doesn't have holes punched. It kind of just uses friction to hold the belt closed, and once you open it, you get something like this. Now you can see how they're so different because they carry really different things. For if you also use watercolor or if you use fountain pens, these are some of the things to know. Because of the way these are configured, you won't really be able to fit fountain pens in these little pen slots on the mini Sendak. However, what this does have for your watercoloring is this little pocket that you can use to store your accessories, whereas if you try to put smaller items in the Superior Labor pen roll, it will fall out. And how I use this one is basically, I have my watercolor brush, a felt tip pen, another felt tip, the Traveler's Company pencil I use for sketching, another watercolor brush, and in here I have this little spray bottle from Muji that I use to reactivate my paint, another tinier watercolor brush, and I have this tin from Mints that I had, and I used it as a mixing palette, and you will see why I need this, because this is my watercolor palette. It's also made by Peg and All. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it doesn't give me a place to mix paint. So basically, I just squeezed out some watercolor paints on my own from mostly Holbein, and I think 2 of these colors are Danielle Smith. And this is such just like an inspirational palette, I feel like. It's really well made. The leather, again, is vegetable tint leather from Pennsylvania, made in the US. The craftsmanship is beautiful. The wood, I believe, is maple wood, but I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on wood like I am on leather. So, but it's really, really good quality wood. It's really well made. I absolutely love it, and it's a perfect fit in this kind of back pocket in the mini Sendak. And then over here, I have a piece of cloth that's actually the little like dust bag they give you with the Traveler's Company TNs. I have a lot of them that I don't use, so I just kind of use this as a cloth for me to use with my watercoloring. And this is okay, so based on the way I use these 2 pen rolls are not, and I mean not, interchangeable. Here's why. Let me show you how it would look if I try to swap out the content of each of these items. And it's a disaster. So, first off, we have all these pens that basically won't fit really anywhere. Like, they kind of go in, but you really, really have to tug on it, and it doesn't go in all the way down. The only pen that I had some kind of luck is this one, the Pilot Vanishing Point. But if you try to fit this baby, it doesn't go past the bottom of the cap. If you try to fit the Kaweco Sport, it's very, very snug. You kind of have to push like really hard on it. And then the big back pocket, I guess theoretically you can use it to fit some of the pens that you don't care if it scratches too much in, but it kind of disappears into it. So when I tug it back in, it's just gone. Like, you can't really see where the pens are from here, from like it's not like it fits like that. That way you can see the top of the pen. They just go all the way down, which is kind of annoying, if you ask me. And then, if you try to use the Superior Labor pen roll to fit the watercolors, that's what I've been doing for a while before I bought the mini Sendak. But the thing is, the Peg and All palette kind of sticks out a little bit more than the default kind of fold line, which is supposed to be here, and it's just that much taller. And it's very hard to jam any kind of cloth down any of these because the leather is so grippy. And then finally, it doesn't really give you good brush protection because you can't really like securely put your brush like against a hard object. If you keep it here and it moves around, eventually it will move over to the side. And then finally, for these tiny little things, it's a pain to try and store them. So this pocket is usually a little bigger, and when you put it in there, it's just gone, and you have to kind of reach in and get it out. So can you use these interchangeably if you use them like how I do? Definitely yes, but it's going to be very inconvenient in my opinion. The Superior Labor pen roll really is a pen roll in my opinion. It could hold other things, but it's just more perfect for using it for pens, whereas the mini Sindak is an art kind of pen roll in my opinion. It has slots for your tools, it could protect your brushes super well, it has the little slot if you have erasers or like a little spray bottle for water, that kind of stuff, or a pencil sharpener. It's really designed more for art, in my opinion. And another kind of point is that this one is all leather, and even though I'm fine with wearing leather out and the whole wabi sabi thing, watercoloring with the vegetable tint leather is just a bit much. Sometimes I get a little bit nervous about it, whereas the waxed canvas is more water resistant. After I got this one, I am very happy actually that I have both of them now because of how similar yet different they are. Overall, the mini Sindak definitely has a larger capacity than the Superior Labor pen roll, but I don't think it's a fair comparison to say if one is better than the other. However, if you don't need watercolor supplies or art supplies, if you're just thinking about carrying pens and you don't need a huge capacity, the Superior Labor pen roll is definitely a better deal because you get all the way high quality leather for slightly cheaper actually than the mini Sindak. The mini Sindak is not cheap. It's more expensive than the Superior Labor pen roll. One last thing I do want to mention is, while I do like the craftsmanship of both, I love the Superior Labor, I love Peg and All. They're both great companies. For the particular two pieces I have, the craftsmanship, the stitching on the Superior Labor one is absolutely superior, no pun intended, actually pun intended, compared to the Peg and All. I don't know machine stitching super well, and I don't know if there's like a big difference between working with canvas and working with leather, but a lot of this, the end of the threads are kind of coming out on this pen roll, and I believe there's some kind of in the back that looks a little wonky as well, and this one at the bottom. So they both have really good construction. I can tell that they will last for a long time, but just know that there are some kind of funky things going on with the stitching on the Peg and All one. It could be completely normal. I just don't know enough to really say much about machine stitching, but if that's a thing that you have some concerns about, just know that I have never coming to this type of kind of like stitching look with the Superior Labor products, and I have a ton of them. So I hope you found this video interesting. I'm in the process of planning for a few big videos, one of them featuring some leathers like this one that's a dupe or like a suitable kind of alternative to some of your leathers from all of your favorite makers. And yeah, so I'm still in the process of asking for people's opinions on which leathers they want me to cover